Here we have Zeke. Zeke is working on some loose leash walking without the leash right now. We're in a pretty low distraction environment, the training room here. Not a lot going on. He's working for kibble right now. I've got a clicker on my wrist. The clicker is a great way to capture those really small behaviors as they happen. Right here, he's getting a click and a treat for checking in with me. I'm treating to the ground because, yes, I want him to receive a treat from me, but I also want to be the one disengaging from him rather than him choosing to disengage from me. Offering a sit. Very good boy. All right, here we are adding a little bit of duration to that check-in. So he's actually following me as I move around rather than just standing stationary. So he has the choice to move anywhere he wants in this training room. No problem, no pressure. I'm not cueing him. I'm not telling him to do anything. As you can see from my body language, I'm trying to get him engaged with me. But it's not mandatory that he pay attention to me at this point. Yes, he's just getting paid to do so. Very nice. We started out by chasing some kibble in the training room just to burn a little bit of that energy and get warmed up. That's one easy way to get a looser leash on your walks, is do a little bit of fetch or chasing some food before you go out. He drank a lot of water during this session. Here I am pointing out a treat. We're going to use that pointed finger later to point out interesting things in the environment. Here is Zeke on a longer leash. It's actually just a slip lead attached to his leash. The reason for that being, I want him to have a little bit more freedom of movement before he feels that pressure on the leash. This can prevent rehearsals of feeling that pressure on the leash and that being the on button to move forward. Just practicing dragging the leash around a little bit. Good dude. If he reaches the end, he might feel a little bit of pressure around that harness, but my goal here is to keep it nice and loose for him. There we go. And we're seeing the beginning of that loose leash walk inside. We've got a few distractions here. Nothing like the outside world, though, with all of its smells and wild animals, exciting stuff. We are going to be using that pointed finger to bring attention to exciting things in the environment. And actually, instead of fighting against those exciting things, we're going to be pointing them out and paying him with the environment for paying attention. He's doing pretty good here. The other trainer might have pointed out that the harness has quite a few points of contact where he might be feeling pressure. We might want to look into loosening that harness a little bit. It is clipped onto the collar, so it's pretty secure. 2 points of contact with that leash. Although if it is constantly tight around the armpits or all around the body, it might be a little bit confusing when he actually does reach the end of the leash. Very nice. And he looks happy, which is always a bonus.
Yes.
Look at this gorgeous engagement here. So you can play this game with just his regular kibble.
I love you.
I like to portion out the meals of the day and just work with those. Anything that's left over, you can put onto a snuffle mat or just give into a bowl, slow feeder, what have you. All right, here we are outside. I'm walking him around the perimeter of this area because the perimeter of a place is always going to be more interesting than the middle of it. We're not just walking in a straight line. We're actually just exploring this little area over here. I want to get him sniffing because sniffing is going to be the best way for him to get out energy, not just physically, but also mentally, and to decompress, calm down. He's actually still getting paid for check-ins here, and I made it easy for him because I've just been hanging out in this area for a couple of minutes at this point. And we're prioritizing bonding with each other, exploring, rather than just walking in a straight line.
Yes.
And the trouble with the straight line is if he's putting pressure on that harness to go forward, that forward movement can reinforce him putting pressure on that harness. And I'm pointing out a little interesting area for him to explore over here.
Nice.
Very
Good boy.
nice.
Ready?
He's actually offering a lot of check-ins here. Good lad. So I would recommend getting a slightly longer leash or attaching another leash and pointing out areas of interest for him, and of course paying for those lovely check-ins.
Yes, good boy.
Beautiful. He did pull a couple of times, but he was able to pull off about 90 degrees away from where he had started pulling and redirect to another area. He knows that I'm going to point out areas of interest and that I'm going to pay him for check-ins.
Yes, good boy. Ready?
Look at that face. I just love him.